Last year, Asmodee announced that they were launching a new entertainment platform to take their existing properties and translate them into other mediums like movies and television and comic books. And this week, they announced another branch of that division called Aconyte, however you might say it has an interesting spelling, which is specifically going to be about turning their board games into books. Novels. It is going to begin launching in summer of 2020, making paperbacks as well as ebook versions of stories based on their existing properties. We do not have specifics yet about what those titles will actually be, but we do know that they have got a guy named Mark Gascoigne who has worked on several other gaming-related projects, including some Shadowrun books and other gaming-related books. He is going to be the lead publisher, the head of the team, perhaps not writing the individual novels, but certainly overseeing them. According to the Aconite website, they have sort of this mission statement where they want to tell us that their novels will be, quote, rich and entrancing, offering a deep, immersive experience with characters that are relatable and heroic, but never shallow. And they are going to be, again, using characters and settings from their board games primarily, but they do also mention that they are working on some third-party tie-ins, trying to get licenses from other not as of yet named properties, so that could include things that go outside the realm of their games that they would just include in this line of books. Now, Will, what do you think? We've talked a bunch throughout our time on this show about translating board games to other properties. In fact, we've even read some books based on these properties. Are you excited for this possibility, for the potential of these books coming out?
I was actually going to mention, as you said, we've already read some and did a video on the Arkham Horror books, which were released by Fantasy Flight, which was owned by Asmodee when they released those books. Mm-hmm. I actually have the recent one here, the Deep Gate here, because I wanted to check out if it mentions Asmodee on it. And as far as I can see, I only see Fantasy Flight.
Interesting.
But on the Aconyte, I'm going to horribly butcher it. On their webpage,
it's a word they made up, so it's fine if you butcher it.
It does show a picture of Arkham Horror on there, so I assume they will be taking over any of the books Fantasy Flight has released.
Yeah, in fact, it shows a number of images that will probably give us a clue as to what franchises they might start with. As you said, Arkham Horror, I see Stuffed Fables, Pandemic, Small World, Ticket to Ride, Splendor, Legend of the Five Rings, and Onirim. All potentially interesting choices. I mean, does anything jump out at you from that selection as something you think would make a good story?
Well, obviously, I forgot the one with the
Stuffed Fables.
I think Stuffed Fables could be a really fun one. A little bit different. Mm-hmm. I mean, Arkham already has books.
Right. So, and it's based on Lovecraft, so I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah. And Legend of the Five Rings already has books too. I think their cards already tell a story. So those two are like the easiest. I think Pandemic is not going to be too hard. And Small World has a lot of tribes. You can just make them interact with each other more. I would make that one more of a kid's book too. That's the other thing they can do. They can make like Arkham more adult or, teen literature, when like Small World or the Stuffed Fables is like a kid's book, maybe even like a picture book.
Right. I mean, I guess that's my question is, are they going to do what you're saying and have very different types of books, or because they're part of the same line, try to keep them more consistent? Because I'm thinking about Pandemic, and I mean, that could be a very serious medical drama, or it could be an action-packed type of story, depending on what direction they decide to take it in.
I think at the very least, I would hope that each copyright, like going strictly out like Arkham versus Onirim, might be different style books, depending on what the board game is.
Yeah.
Because I think that would be a lot better, and I think it'd be really cute to see, if you got the artist who did some of the small world art to make a picture book, it could be really adorable.
Now, I have no idea, honestly, what is the story going to be for Splendor or Ticket to Ride? Yeah, I don't know how much I care about. I mean, the thing is, I guess those games, the settings are so broad. We've talked about this before in relation to movies, that you almost have a clean slate to invent something that could be interesting. The question is, will a board gamer care enough to want to buy them because of that property, or do they even care about that? Are they going to try to go after more people who maybe don't even play board games? Maybe this is a way to get them interested in the board games. I mean, probably both is what they want.
Well, if they want to do that market, then they have to step up their game.
Yeah.
Like, the Arkham Horror books, I enjoy them, because I like them. But if you really wanted to get people invested from the Arkham Horror books to the card game, you're going to have to get some good authors, to write some stuff.
Yeah, those are very pulpy. They're quick reads. Now, if you go on their website, you can actually apply to be one of the writers, which makes me question how far along they actually are with any of this. Like if they're just openly asking for people to please write things for them. And
of course, you've already put in your documents for that.
Yes,
right?
I've submitted. I'm definitely going to be. I'm hoping to write the Camel Up game. I don't know. I mean book. I was trying to think of something stupid. Is Camel Up even under Asmodee? It probably is.
Z-Man.
Yeah, everything is these days. All right, so anyway, but you can go to that page and they have a little bit more information that is interesting to read about what maybe they're looking for. Actually, they specify that their novels will run approximately 80 to 86,000 words, which I believe, I tried to figure this out, that's like roughly between 300 and 400 pages in an average book. So that's like a pretty decent size for a novel. So it sounds like it's going to be more substantial than the Arkham books, which were a little bit shorter.
I think most of them are a little short of 100. And I mean, I would love to see if they could really get some bigger names. I don't know the author world as well, but to really give these characters and worlds some depth to make them worthwhile to people who don't play the board games.
I mean, I'm just going to say right now, Small World by George R.R. Martin.
Is this before or after he finishes the last book?
Or if Michael Crichton was still alive. Michael Crichton's Pandemic. Anyway.
J.K. Rowling's Ticket to Ride.
Yeah, beautiful. That sounds perfect.
And then I can't wait what you find out about the trains afterwards through her tweets.
Oh man, you're in for a wild ride. So Aconyte, we have a while to wait. They actually have a countdown on their site. There are currently 374 days until the first book is released, which is a ways to go. But I'm looking forward to finding out what exactly it is, and I'm sure we will hopefully cover some of them on Read for Crit and be very interested in seeing exactly what they are.
Now, I am a little curious, because I don't think they mention it, but all of the books that Fantasy Flight released came with promo stuff for games. Do you think these will?
Hard to say. It seems like certainly a possibility. There's nothing about that on the site or in the press release at all, so maybe if they do, it would be like a pre-order bonus type thing.
I sort of hope they don't, because, I mean, I like promos, but it's like for this stuff, because I love the new Arkham characters, but it worries me a little bit because it almost becomes like you buy for the promo, not the book. I want the books to be able to stand up by themselves,
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that if you include a promo, then it feels more and more like this is just a thing we put out as a goofy bonus, as opposed to this is actually a book. You could buy this at Barnes & Noble and actually care enough to read it.
You mean Amazon?
That's what I meant. I meant your local bookstore, mom and pop store. Okay, anyway. So again, it's called Aconyte. We'll have a link in the description so you can see for yourself. And we'd love to hear from you what you think would be the best possible games from Asmodee's massive library now that they have access to, or even, like I said, third-party tie-ins. We don't really know what that means. Like, is that just going to be different franchises? Are they referring to things like maybe even something like Star Wars that they make games based on, but they don't own? It could be anything.
This is where the expanded Star Wars universe begins again.
Yeah, I think that's true. Let us know what your thoughts are and opinions are on that. And thank you so much for listening to the show. My name's Jonathan.
I'm Will.
And this was Roll for Crit. Hey, if you liked this video, then like this video and subscribe to our channel for more board game content.
Would you kindly do it now?